African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Greetings, beautiful people. My name is Simon Javan Okelo. I am in Nairobi, Kenya, and today I am really privileged to be at the National Youth Council of Kenya, and I'm here with the CEO of this incredible organization that really advocates for young people in our country. Madam, I want you to just take a moment and introduce yourself and say hello to our audiences who are listening to our conversation today.
Thank you very much, Javan, for this opportunity to just have a conversation. Just to introduce myself, my name is Margaret Kiogora, the CEO of National Youth Council. This is the institution that is mandated to represent the voice of the youth, and we are anchored under an Act of Parliament 2007, and we are very pleased to be here. Thank you.
Excellent. So with the African Father in America podcast, AFIA Podcast, my favorite thing is really starting with an African proverb. And today I have a beautiful proverb from the country of Nigeria, and it says that for the sake of the flowers, the thorns are also watered. Share with us your thoughts. When you hear this, what comes to your mind?
Actually, it resonates with the people we represent. It resonates with the young people that for us to get that beautiful flower, for us to get that youth that is productive in future, we have also to really invest in them, ensuring that we mentor them, ensuring that we provide opportunities for them. And for me, that's the watering that we are doing to the thorns for us to get that flower that is beautiful in future. So I believe it really resonates with what to do as National Youth Council, being able to represent the youth of this country.
That's wonderful. You know, I attended the press briefing where we met for the first time, and that's also where I actually first learned about the YouthConnekt Africa Summit. Talk to us a little bit about it.
The YouthConnekt Africa Summit is an initiative that started from Rwanda, Kigali. It was born in 2017 there. And during the first time, they only had 1,500 delegates.
Oh, wow.
But with years, as the years has gone by, last year we had 9,500 people attending. And these are African nationalities and also nationalities from outside the country, or outside the continent, sorry. Right now in Kenya, we are looking at hosting 20,000. So we are excited because this is an initiative by African youth, for African youth being able to come up with solutions to solve African problems. So I'm excited to be part of this journey because when I look at it, it's something that was born in Africa. We want to be able to ensure by the time we are getting to the last 53rd state of Africa, we have everyone having hosted this initiative. So we are very excited to be actually considered being the 32nd member state.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, when I saw you speaking at the press briefing, I spent a lot of hours in your office today. I love the work you do, and I can tell that you are an amazing leader, and your team is very motivated. You're smiling even though you're very tired. I know it's late in the evening here, but you know the motivation that you exude comes from somewhere. And one of my favorite questions to ask my guests is really what drives you. You know, when you look back when you are like 8 to 12 years old, is there a story or a place that when you remember, you can pinpoint and say that this moment is what really makes me who I am today? For example, myself, I grew up in Manyata in Kisumu, Kenya, and my mother used to supply milk and bread in our neighborhood. And so she gave me a bicycle when I was 8 years old and asked me to help her distribute milk and bread in the neighborhood. And that's how I became an entrepreneur. That's how I became a leader. I want you to think about a similar story and share with us.
Thank you very much, Javan. For me, when you say going back to 8 years old, I'm going back to a place in central Kenya. Most people actually don't believe I was born and raised in a village. A village in Moranga. Where when I was young, we grew up in a scenario where my parents had pigs. So we were pig farmers. And every time, everyone had a duty. The feeding duty, the cleaning duty. And despite, of course, going to school, in the evening you'll come back and that duty is still waiting for you. They need to be fed. And if you know about pig farming, pigs eat a lot. So you have to constantly feed them and also clean up the area. And the one thing that this taught me is that, number one, you have to be very hardworking. Because the one thing I appreciate my parents for is, yes, I did not come from a struggled background, but they ensured that we knew that you had to work for what you are having in your table. It was not coming easy, and you had to put that hard work over there. So when I look at it, I believe it's just having that, the parents that provided that, the little they had, being able to provide that opportunity, and also reminding me constantly that there is nothing that comes for free. Also, I remember the one story when we were growing up, my mother used to tell us, and my father, of course, is that, number one, whatever I have is mine. Work for yours. So I grew up knowing that whatever that I need, if I need a better life, I have to work for it. I cannot go back and start telling my parent, pay. That means give me constantly. I have to be independent. And I appreciate that culture of hard work, that culture of knowing that nothing comes for free. And I have constantly, and I'll always be appreciative and grateful to my parents for that.
That's so wonderful.
Yes.
Now I understand why you're working so hard, with your role as the executive director, the CEO of the National Youth Council. But I want you to paint a picture for us. There are many of us who will be listening or watching our conversation today that are learning about the Kenya National Youth Council for the first time. There are a lot of Kenyans in the diaspora that are going to watch this. I want you to paint a picture, share with us some of your biggest accomplishments, things that make you proud, considering the background that you have, feeding the pigs and now leading youths in our beautiful nation.
Thank you very much, Javan, for that. And for me, I'll take you back to how this institution was formed. This institution actually came to being after the post-election violence. If you remember that time, the youth were very aggrieved. They felt that they do not have an avenue for representation. So our government, and also through the Constitution, Article 55, that talks about inclusivity for the marginalized group, and youth being one of them, the birth of National Youth Council came to being. So the institution is to represent the youth of this country. And one of the things and one of the greatest achievements is actually having a team that is very hardworking, a team of youth. Sometimes when you walk into this office, and I'm sure you've seen it, sometimes you wonder, are you in a government institution? Because the young people are running and even giving their best and all. So first of all, I would say one of my achievements is having a team that, one, believes in my leadership, and a team that I am able to influence in what that we are doing. Having that team that is supporting me, because it's not a one-man show. If I do not have a team that is supporting me behind, it means I'm going to fail. So for me, one is appreciating my team. The other thing that we've been able to achieve through, again, this team is being able to develop 27 draft youth policies. One of the things that you will hear from young people in Africa, and especially in Kenya, you will hear that when there's no policy that guides, there's no framework at the county level that guides the conversation. So we've been able to develop draft policies for 27 counties in ASIL communities, and this has been in partnership with one of the development partners who has really been there to support us and ensure that we take the Kenya Youth Development Policy 2019, which is a national document, to customize it to the needs of each youth for these counties in the ASIL counties. So I can say that that's our biggest achievement as an institution, and also being able to even have this institution that is representing the youth. For me, I feel it's a great achievement for our country.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, because unless something is turned into policy, turned into laws, and applied in the lives of people, it's meaningless, you know.
Actually, it's and one of the things I'll tell you, when you look at a lot of African countries, they emulate. They really are proud of what we are doing. We've had about 5 African countries. We've had Liberia coming here for a comparative learning.
Right.
We have had Zambia coming. We've had Uganda, which we believe has a very strong national youth council, coming for comparative learning. And for me, that tells me Kenya is doing something amazing.
That's true.
So we are very proud of what we are doing. I know there's much more that can be done to enable this institution, but so far we are proud of what we've been able to achieve.
That's excellent. So there are 20,000 young people from across Africa and the African diaspora that are excited to be in Nairobi. And Nairobi was just declared the most interesting city to visit in the world in 2024. Speak about that for a moment.
Let me tell you, I believe that's an honor to our country. I keep saying I've not heard it being said loud enough.
Right.
Maybe we've not heard what that means, because we are being compared with other big cities in the world.
Right.
So when Nairobi emerges number one, I believe it's something that we should be amplifying and telling people Nairobi is the place to be.
That's true.
And we are excited to have the 20,000 youth delegates. You can imagine 20,000 people being in Nairobi city, the city that we've always called the city under the sun, the city that has a national park. For me, I feel we are very privileged to even get that position one, and we should keep on amplifying and telling everyone Nairobi is the place to be.
That's right.
Yes.
So when you think about, let's imagine that the summit is happening right now, and you're taking a walk around the venue, and you're guiding some of the youths who are visiting Kenya for the first time. What would you say that is most exciting in terms of the program? Because yesterday I was at a smaller meeting at Talanta Towers, and I really love the program. I heard that one of the dinners is going to be inside the Nairobi National Park.
Yes.
Just the level of creativity that is being invested in the summit is really incredible. And then I hear that it's going to end the celebration of Kenya at 60. Speak a little more about this.
I like the fact that it's giving me goosebumps thinking about the 8th to 12th of December, because I can see myself walking in those small streets that we will have created at KICC, ensuring that the youth are there, being able to see what each thematic area is being discussed, looking at the 7 focus areas as conversations are going on, and as you've said, there's that dinner that we are looking forward to hosting in the national park. You can imagine foreigners coming to Kenya, and the first place you're going, it's the national park. The one thing we can assure you, we don't want you to be business as usual. This is a youth event. We want you to feel the vibe of the youth. We want you to feel that energy the youth comes with. As you said, we might look at them as thorns, but these thorns are the future flowers. So we need to be able to have that conversation, creating that vibe during the 8th to 12th, that young people, by the time they are living here, either a local Kenya who has come from diaspora, one of the summer bunnies, or even the ones that will have come from other countries, by the time they are living there, we hope that this summit will be the talk for the years to come, that it will be everyone will be going back to it. We want same thing as this, and we are very ready to deliver it, and we're looking forward to it. And one more thing, we are looking at having an extravaganza as we close the summit. We don't want business as usual again. We want to have an extravaganza for the youth, to be able to showcase, kukuwa na sherehe, that party for the young people, to just celebrate that they've been able to deliver this, because this is for the youth, by the youth, being driven by those young people. So we are looking at having that extravaganza, and as you have rightfully said, after that we are celebrating Kenya at 60.
That's right.
That is our Jamhuri Day. We want to be able, and actually the theme is around innovation and youth, being able again to take this youth to participate in that national event.
Right.
And I believe that will be the rebirth of the African Renaissance that we are calling upon.
That's right.
Yes.
I love it. I want to, just keep you here and continue conversing with you, but I feel like I need to give you space to maybe just give us your closing remarks, and also if somebody is watching our conversation and they have like $1 billion and they want to invest in the National Youth Council, what would you ask them that you want to use this money for? Like, what is your number one priority if you had sufficient funding being offered to you and the National Youth Council?
Actually, when you ask about if someone was to come with $1 million the one thing I would ask is for programs to go to the grassroots. Because the one thing that we want to be able to do is going to the grassroots level. We don't want only to be in the cities. We want to be able to go to Turkana. We want to be able to go to Samburu. We want to be able to go into those remote areas where we have our young people that feel they are not represented.
Right.
So we want to be able to partner with, and we are calling for this partnership so that you can be able to come and help us co-create programs together with you, so that we can be able to empower the youth of this country, be it through the policies that we are developing. We can get sponsorship for the remaining 20 policies. We can get sponsorship for the 47 to go through public participation till they are enacted as policies that we are using in our counties.
Right.
And apart from that, we have a program that we call Sawazisha Gumzo. We are looking at being able to have a conversation on intergenerational dialogue. There is sexual reproductive health. There is issue to do with drugs and substance abuse. And these are there are issues that are actually affecting youth right now. So if we can be able to get those partnerships to ensure that we are having representation, we are having participation of the youth, so that at the end of the day, as National Youth Council, we will feel that even that youth who feel they are very away from the headquarters, they are represented. One of the other things is even through our Ministry of Youth, we are having young people's agenda. So that's the other area we will call upon. People being able to come to, one of our pillars is actually pushing for the green army. And the green army is being able to ensure that we are contributing to either tree growing, ensuring that young people are a part of this sustainable being able to be part of the climate adaptation, to ensure that we are bringing in sustainable solution in the young people. So one of the things that I will call upon our partners, also come and partners with us. We have a lot of young people, we can be able to empower them financially as they grow trees, to ensure that we have so many to correct what we are being told that is happening to the climate.
Right.
So that's one of the things. And for us, if you would want to see us, we have our website, which is www.nationalyouthcouncil.go.ke. The other places you can find us apart from our website, you can find us in our X, which is national NYC_Youth Voice. You can also find us on the same NYC_Youth Voice on Instagram. On Facebook, we are at National Youth Council. That's the name, that's the handle. It's different from the other two. So please note, it's NYC_Youth Voice. And that's where you can find us. We actually leverage on technology because our young people, they are on Twitter, they are on X, they are on TikTok, they are on Instagram. You will not find them mostly on Facebook, but we still send it there.
Right.
But our demography is TikTok, X, and Instagram, and you can find us there. You can follow us there. You can follow me at Margaret Kiogora, or that is on X. So you can follow me there. You see, I always post each and everything that we are doing in this institution. Right. So we look forward to hearing from you on those Twitter handles and those spaces, so that we can be able to engage further. So thank you very much.
Of course. Thank you again for making the time, and thank you all for joining us for today's episode of the African Father in America podcast. Peace.
Father in America. Tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, jikaze. African Father in